Hello students, let us begin today's period with this thought. There is no failure, you either win or learn. So students, let us begin our 10th chapter, Historic Period. We have seen in lesson 2 that written records are available in a form of inscriptions, manuscript, books, etc. for historic period. In an ancient civilization, the art of writing was developed. They used fully developed scripts. In other words, with the rise of ancient civilization, the new Stone Age came to an end and historic period began. So students, we know very well history is divided into historic period and prehistoric period. So when the art of writing was known to men, it is called historic period because the evidence are in a form of manuscript, books, inscription. That means we are having the written record of history. Prior to this, when the written record was not there, rather man was not knowing the art of writing, it comes under prehistoric period. So till new Stone Age it is prehistoric, and after that when he came to know about writing, it is called the historic period. Now let us see what is culture. Humans and all other animals are dependent on the environment and nature for satisfying their needs. However, other animals do not cause any significant change in their surroundings. For example, bears live in caves and monkeys live on trees. But humans build houses. It means that we humans change the natural character of our surroundings to some extent. Humans do not eat their food in its natural form as other animals do. They roast or cook the food. Or, in the other words, they process foodstuff before eating them. They process many substances in a similar manner. They work on stone, metal, etc. to make tools and various objects. They make pots, bricks, and many other things from clay. So, so we can differentiate humans from other animal on these basic things. Other animals are still living the same life like primitive age, but we humans have changed up to great extent. By using our brain, our skills, and quality of observation and experimentation, we have changed our lifestyle. Other animals still live in the same habitat, but we humans have created various types of houses for us. We live in society. Other animals eat the food in the natural way. That means still they eat the raw food. But we cook the food, we package it, and then we consume it. So in this way, there are various types where human have make a drastic change. He is no more living a primitive life. Human have make pots, bricks, and many other things out of clay, that is mud. They obtain yarn from cotton and weave cloth from the yarn. Yarn means the thread which is made from the cotton, and from those threads the cotton cloth is made. In short, according to their needs, they change the form of material available in nature. The material is the basic resource, natural resource which is available, but we are not using as it is. Rather, we have changed its form according to the use. They need skills to do this. They need to think and plan before they shape the object. Then they have put an effort to actually shape it. The tradition of thought, skill, and efforts give rise to various arts. Every generation handed over the knowledge of artistic skills and tradition to the next generation. With this exchange of thoughts and idea, language was enriched. The knowledge of various art, skill, and traditions inherited from generation to generation, and the way of life founded on that knowledge is what we call culture. So student, in this way, by using his thinking capacity, imagination, observation, and various skill, man has uses various resources available in nature for himself, and accordingly he has shaped it. The demand of the object, the quality, everything is responsible for his efforts. So in this way, whatever knowledge he was having, whatever skill he has developed, it was passed to the coming generation and other generations. There were certain changes when it was carried from generation to generation. Various skills, thoughts, imagination was put to it and the skill was enriched. So in this way, the knowledge of various art, skill and tradition which is passed on, inherited means passed on from generation to generation, and the way of life which is led on this is called culture. So underline these last few lines, the knowledge of various till we called it culture. Now page number 46, ancient civilization in river valleys. Culture which flourished in the New Stone Age were based on an agriculture way of life. Fertile soil and constant water supply are essential for growing good crops. Naturally, people in New Stone Age established their village settlements on the bank of various rivers. The New Stone Age culture flourished along the river banks. In the course of time, New Stone Age culture gave rise to earlier civilizations. Increase in production due to various skill, the use of wheel, flourishing trade, use of well-developed scripts, etc. were the major factor responsible for the rise of early civilization. This civilization came into existence in roughly the same period, that is around 3000 BC, in 4 regions of the world. They are Mesopotamia, Egypt, the Indian subcontinent and China. The civilization in these 4 regions developed in the river valleys. Hence, they are known as riverian civilizations. So now we have seen what is culture. So it is the knowledge of various art, skill and tradition which is passed on to the generations. So civilization, let us understand first. Civilization is nothing but the culture which is passed on, the way of life. Due to these inherited cultures, due to these inherited qualities, humans have set up a certain way of living. This is called culture. So when this culture is followed, the group of people come together following certain culture, it gives rise to civilization. So previous lesson also we have seen that most of the civilization developed on the banks of river. Humans started settling due to agriculture. Due to advent of agriculture, he was living a settled life which gave rise to village settlements. Then they started following certain norms. They were working together. They were living together, helping each other. This gave rise to civilization. And because agriculture require water and good fertile soil, the civilization which flourished mostly were on the banks of various rivers. So throughout the world, the old civilization which were famous like Mesopotamia, Egypt, Indian subcontinent, China, they were on the banks of certain river. Hence they are called riverian civilization. That means on the bank of river. The civilization which flourished on the bank of river. Ancient riverian civilization. Mesopotamia, Egypt, China and Harappa. So we are going to deal with these 4 civilizations in detail. First, Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia is the name of the region and not any particular country. It means the land between 2 rivers, the meaning of Mesopotamia. So the region between the 2 rivers is called Mesopotamia. Ancient Mesopotamia was the land between 2 rivers, Tigris and Euphrates. These 2 rivers mainly flow through Turkey, Syria and Iraq. Ancient Mesopotamia had great cities like Ur, Urk and Nippur, etc. These cities were home to very prosperous culture. Here in the map, students, I have shown you the river. It is written in green. These are the river. The Tigris, here you can see Tigris river, here it is flowing, and on the other side is this Euphrates. So these two, here the Euphrates is flowing and here the Tigris is flowing. So these 2 rivers are flowing, and the land between these 2 rivers, this piece of land whole was called Mesopotamia. On both the side they were having the rivers, and the land between it was Mesopotamia region. And here you can see the most important cities of Mesopotamia civilization, the Nippur, Uruk and Ur. And these were flowing from the Syria, Iraq and Turkey region. Today's Iraq, Syria and Turkey. So here we find the Mesopotamia region. Here the culture was very flourishing. It was very prosperous. Because of these two rivers, the land was very fertile and agriculture was flourishing. Because of this, trade was also flourishing, which gave rise to the civilization, which was very flourishing civilization. इट वॉज व्हेरी प्रॉस्परस, म्हणजे कुठल्याही गोष्टीची कमी नव्हती. इट वॉज इन अबंडंट. नेक्स्ट civilization which flourished on the bank of the river is the Egypt civilization. The river Nile flows through the eastern part of Sahara Desert in the northern Africa. One of the ancient civilization flourished along its bank. It is known as Egyptian civilization. Here in the map you can see this is the African continent, and in the northern Africa here we have the Egyptian civilization. It is the lifeline of Egypt, the river Nile. As we are having Ganga, similarly they are having Nile. So this civilization flourished on the bank of this river in the northern Egypt. The Nile gets flooded every year. The land along her bank has become very fertile because of flood deposit. Because when the river gets flooded, it carries mud along with it and it gets deposit in the lower lying areas. So this land becomes very fertile. Also, ancient Egypt used to build small embankments on the river to store the flood water. Embankment means a small wall. म्हणजे जे वाहणारं पाणी आहे नदीचं, जे फ्लडमुळे वाहणारं पाणी आहे, दे यूज टू बिल्ड अ स्मॉल वॉल. इट वॉज लाईक अ स्मॉल डॅम सो दॅट दे कॅन obstruct the flow of the river, and the river, the water used to penetrate, and the soil which was carried away, it was deposited there, which was very fertile soil. After the soil in the flood water gets settled in the bottom, the water was used for irrigation. So the water once penetrates the ground, the remaining water was collected like we are having lakes, and that water was used for irrigation purpose. That's why one of the most important civilization flourished here on the bank of river Nile. Here you can see the picture of Egyptians. So they used to believe that their king, the first king, was the son of the god. These are some of the pictures of civilization of Egyptian. They are shown doing various activities related to agriculture and art. Next is the Chinese civilization. The ancient civilization of China developed and flourished in the valley of Hoang, the Hoanghe River. According to the Chinese tradition, a king named Hungao Di introduced agricultural, animal husbandry, wheeled carts and chariots, boat and clothing in China. He was the first king who introduced these things. Chinese people believe that his queen invented the technique of silk production and silk dyeing. Dyeing here means coloring of silk. The thread which is acquired from the cocoon of specific insect, from that the silk thread is made, and then the coloring of the silk cloth. This was done by their queen. Luoyang, Beijing and Chang'an are the important cities of Chinese civilization. So in this map you can see in China, here this river was flowing, and along this river, the river was called Huang. Along the river the civilization, Chinese civilization, flourished, and here is the statue of their king Hungadi. So in this way we have finished Mesopotamia, Egypt and Chinese civilization. So we have finished with this civilization. In next period we will deal with the civilization which flourished in the Indian subcontinent, that is Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. Till then, read till page number 47. Thank you.